Hello, welcome to HITC Sport, and what? What are you looking at? I'm sorry, don't disrespect Bodo-Glimt. I mean, what's the problem? People seem to be treating them as if they're just a bunch of European minnows whose players work night shifts fishing for salmon in the Norwegian Sea. Apparently coached by Hagrid, right? No, again, show some respect to Bodo/Glimt. I mean, so what if they can't decide what to call their football club? So what if their stadium looks like a building site? Where is the respect? This is a team who have regularly handed out thrashings in European competitions. Does nobody remember June 1996 when they won 7-2 against Beitar Jerusalem? Or even last season when they won 6-1 against Kauno Žalgiris from Lithuania? Or in 1978 when they triumphed 4-1 against Union Luxembourg. This is a club with European pedigree. They're an attacking team who know where the back of the net is. Does nobody remember the mid-June match where they stuck 7 goals past Strom's Godstead? Losing to them is no shame. Oh, let me guess, in your pretentious eyes, these opponents were all pub teams unable to kick a ball, right? I'm sorry, no, respect Kauno what were they called again? Kauno Žalgiris, respect them! I can't even get through this. Who am I kidding? They're probably football's answer to a melted Kit Kat. But no, sorry, okay, I am here to defend Jose Mourinho still, alright? And yeah, you're probably thinking, how can anyone possibly defend that? You know, a bit like serving as a lawyer for someone who's just eating his sister's face with a spoon. But you know what? I'm gonna try and give this a go. Manchester United fans, what are you laughing at? Are we forgetting that your own manager, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he lost 3 times in a row to Bodo-Glimt? What were they called again? When he was manager of Molde FC, who admittedly were just a small fisherman club on the Norwegian coast, just a stone's throw away from the Faroe Islands. Not when in charge of Francesco Totti's former team. Christ above Jose, what is this result? Bodo/Glimt. I'm sorry, that sounds like someone's email address or a Facebook password. It doesn't sound like a legit club. Okay, give me a second here just to defend Mourinho. What else? What other excuse? They were playing on AstroTurf? I mean, seriously, have you ever tried a slide tackle on that surface? It's about as much fun as brushing your teeth with sandpaper. Honestly, I play on AstroTurf every week. Even just dropping to your knees on AstroTurf. I mean, next time you step in the shower, it's probably gonna feel like you just dragged your skin through a lawnmower. Why do you think no silly students ever make love in the middle of an AstroTurf pitch? Probably because they don't want to leave chunks of their bloody arse behind. So that kind of fell, but what else? How can we blame Luke Shaw? Luke Shaw was probably tucking into a family bucket of chicken wings in his car. Again, not sure that's relevant, but I have to blame him somehow. Mourinho, 6 months ago, this guy was tactically outclassed by Croatia's answer to Tony Soprano. You know, the Dinamo Zagreb coach, who's probably chewing on plastic prison food as we speak, while sharing a cell with Sideshow Bob. And now Jose has just seen his Roma team embarrassed by a member of a boy band.
Har ikke sett deg i det siste, har du gått deg vill? Jeg har vært og møkka låt og tjent 1000 mil. Forresten har jeg også vært og kjøpt meg gassgrill. Om du lurte, har jeg også vært på butikken. Vært og handla inn en del, for jeg har mye spenn.
Christ above, this is probably what it would have looked like if they'd given the role of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air to the guy who played Chandler Bing. Christ above, this looks like watching geography students do a socially awkward impression of JLS. They look like if Boys 2 Men had come from Stoke. Thank Christ these 3 men made as footballers. Because bring that to Norway's Got Talent. I know, they wouldn't have just been laughed off the stage. No, they'd have probably been deported from the country. If these guys hadn't become footballers, imagine their schoolmates seeing this on the internet. They'd probably be waiting until 40 to lose their virginity. And even then, it would probably be with their overweight aunt.
Heller om verdenskrise. Jeg synes det mye viktigere, gutter. Jeg lyng og alle vet det. Jeg han så du kan se på TV. Til og med bra ut når jeg spiser.
Right now, I'm sure Alvin Challand is proud of his son and probably counting the number of Lamborghinis he's going to get for Christmas. But back in 2016, watching this, he probably felt how Will Smith must feel about his son. You know, desperately wishing he'd stuck a rubber on his knob. But yeah, Eric Bothheim, he's even mocking the Josie on his Instagram.
Nothing to say.
Yep. That's Mourinho's catchphrase, and he's using it against him. Lovely. A typical social media age. I hope karma hits him when he gets eaten by an angry bird. But yes, Bodo-Glimt 6, Roma 1. We used to live in a world where Jose Mourinho was masterminding 6-0 wins over a managerial masterpiece like Arsene Wenger. Now, he's just been outthought by stale Solbakken, a guy sacked after just 6 months at Wolves, on their way to League One. But what's the big deal? This isn't Mourinho's fault. I mean, this isn't the first time Roma have conceded 6 on a European night whilst competing against the Norwegian manager. Not even the first time this year. In It happened 6 months ago. Oh, the media right now are laughing, throwing back their heads and cackling like a bunch of witches. Even people on the street. I suppose there's probably a few fat teenagers queuing up in the streets of Wigan for the latest Aquaman comic, telling their mates,
Oh, did you hear? Roma lost 6-1 this week.
I'm sorry, when Paulo Fonseca guided Roma to a 3-1 loss in Bulgaria last Christmas, nobody said a word. It's simple. Jose Mourinho is massive. I'm sorry, what exactly is the European Conference League? Why do we need it? Who is asking for this damn competition? What is this conference? Is it the Papa John's Trophy of Europe? I mean, this is a competition featuring the mighty Karabag and Orthosis Famagusta and Lincoln Red Imps. It's embarrassing enough that Mourinho is being asked to compete at this level. I mean, it's a bit like turning up to someone's wedding and being placed at the kiddie table. Oh, that's fun. While all your work colleagues are drinking wine and tucking into a 5-star steak, while you punch a 7-year-old in the face to get his portion of chicken nuggets. I mean, this is just embarrassing. Do you think he can be bothered with traveling to Albania to play the final against FC Basel or Maccabi Tel Aviv? Honestly, it's a waste of this man's talents. He showed just what he thinks of this competition by selecting the B team, and I'm convinced were he not contractually obliged to do so, he wouldn't have been at the game. He'd have spent Thursday night sitting at home watching Christmas with the Cranks. Honestly, I'm not playing right out to Norway. He was probably about as excited for this match as a trip to the dentist. I'm sorry, but if Mourinho is guilty of anything, it's of trusting too much. I'm sorry, I don't care if your manager is Phil Brown, Gary Monk, or my nan. If you are employed by a prestigious European giant like Roma, you do not waltz onto a Norwegian pitch and perform like that. Some of those goals that if anything would make me sick in my mouth. You really think that was Jose's doing? Yeah, people say he's got a caveman, Neanderthal approach to the game, that he's outdated. Sure, that is an argument, yes. But I won't have anyone tell me that that man does not know how to organize a defense. Do you think he asked for his defenders to play like that? Literally running away from the ball? I mean, here's what he had to say.
I never disguised the fact we are a squad with real limitations. We have 13 players who represent one team, the others are on a different level. We lost to a team that has more quality than us. Bodo has more quality than our starters tonight. It's that simple.
Bodo Glimt. He didn't exactly sound like a threatening team full of superstars. I mean, their right back was someone called Alfred Samsted. He sounds like a character out of Oliver Twist. They had a centre half called Brede Mo. He looks like Philip Lamb was in a car crash. You might feel sorry for the Roma players. I mean, every single one of these men were probably giddy with excitement when they learned that Mourinho was coming to Rome. I mean, let's not forget, 2 years ago, this club were forced to drag in a beleaguered Claudio Ranieri 2 weeks after failure at Fulham. A likeable man, sure, but I'm sorry. Clearly he has the tactical ideas of a chunk of burnt toast. And Paulo Fonseca came with a reputation of being a ball-playing genius coach at Shakhtar Donetsk. But let's not forget, he was overlooked for the Everton job in favour of Marco Silva. Yes, Silva. A man who I know for a fact is about as inspiring an appointment as a bowl of mashed potato. Without a doubt, the man is the club's most exciting appointment since Fabio Capello back in 1999. I mean, I know if you're an English millennial, you probably had a bunch of Sky propaganda shoved down your throat about how this guy is just managerial fungus after banning ketchup from the World Cup. But no, trust me, like Jose, Capello was the real deal. He just gets a rough deal in this country because he wouldn't let Peter Crouch use butter on his toast. Silent, but Capello, like Mourinho, serial winner. If he doesn't want Emil Heskey tucking into a McChicken sandwich on the morning of a game, maybe listen to the man instead of moaning. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, the Roma fringe players must have been excited. Not anymore, but it's their own fault. They've absolutely blown their chance to impress the gaffer.
Oh, Jose throws his players under the bus!
I'm sorry, what do you want him to? Do you want him to write off this result? Just forget about the sloppy diarrhea defending he was forced to watch. Should he instead kiss his players on the cheek and breastfeed them milk from his belly button? Stop trying to mollycoddle footballers. If you lose 6-1, you're damn right you should be ready for a public dressing down. Here we have Brian Reynolds. Sounds like the B-Tech Deadpool. Anyway, he's a 20-year-old right back from Texas. I mean, you might as well Skype up to his parents now and tell him he'll be back after Christmas because honestly, there's more chance of me getting married to a pig than there is ever him starting another game for Roma. Similarly, Roger Ibanez, 22-year-old Brazilian centre-back. He played like David Luiz. If David Luiz had lost all feeling in his feet. It's actually impressive for a centre-back pairing to actually make Jose Mourinho crave Chris Smalling the same way James Corden craves pizza in his lungs. Honestly, right now, Chris Smalling has never looked so appealing, and I'm pretty sure when in England, I'm pretty sure Mourinho used to look at him as if he'd just fallen out of Susan Boyle's stomach. It's players like Gonzalo Villar who should really hang their head in shame. You're only 23, yes, but you're a seasoned pro. You played nearly 50 times in Roma's midfield last season. And what about Stefan El-Shaarawy, a former AC Milan wonderkid, right? A guy who lit up Rome for 3 seasons before. But ever since coming back from your Chinese holiday, you just resemble Jared Delafeo crossed with Donkey from Shrek. This is a big job at Roma, but Mourinho is right. He has a good starting 11, but this is not a squad we can win the league with. This is a club who've made a habit of cashing in world-class stars like Miralem Pjanic, Mo Salah, Antonio Rudiger, Alisson Becker, and just reinvested in comparative garbage. I'm getting worried. Jose Mourinho called Arsene Wenger a specialist in failure after 8 years without a trophy. Well, if Mourinho doesn't win anything this season, that will be 5 years. And I don't want to see that for one of the undisputed GOATs of the game. I never wanted to see this man deemed no longer good enough for Tottenham. That was already an insult to his name. And so I don't want the man to fail at Roma, who are being dumped as an old decrepit lump of white hair at Besiktas next season. That would actually make me cry. This man, 5 years ago, he probably wanted to win the treble at Man United, and then the World Cup with Portugal and Qatar. He did not want to be forced to answer questions on whether or not he's going to step into the shoes of Steve Bruce, or be laughed at by all corners of Europe. I don't want Mourinho to wind up as the laughingstock that Wenger was, or the angry, insecure hobbit that Conor McGregor has become. And it's not helpful when the two of them shared a selfie last week. I don't want the world to take pleasure in Jose's failures just like they do McGregor. Ozzy, give him a blank checkbook and a pedestal to reinvent himself as James's Park. Give him the backing of the richest owners in the world, and I promise, instead of toiling with a bank average Roma squad, he'd actually be able to mold Newcastle United into the team that he wants, and they'd soon become the Chelsea of the mid-noughties. Jose, I'm not giving up on you yet. Anyway, that's it. Let me know what you think. Have I got this all wrong? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and as always, I'll talk to you in a while.